Bitcoin trades back above 70,000 bucks for the first time in gasp a week or less than a week. And the real question is Bitcoin still primed for 80,000 plus, or maybe even more than that, within this next few month spread here, as Bitcoin still continues to trudge its way through on this nice little short-term corrective phase. Anyways, I suppose with that said, we can just jump right into this one. I want to get right to the meat of this analysis right here, right now, and a few new things happening in the last 24 hours, or not in the last 24 hours, but in the last few days here that I do want to follow up on. Daily time frame has confirmed hidden bullish evidence right in over here. Pretty damn it's not where the circles are. Should be right around here. Is what I'm trying to say. But that would suggest that yes, Bitcoin is digging in its heels in the mid $60,000 territory. I still do think Bitcoin could very easily have another short-term move back down around there. Just this would suggest that it's likely going to be an opportunity, maybe even a buy. But of course, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just saying my sort of stupid opinions, my stupid thoughts on what I'd be thinking on this market over time. Anyways, 2-day time frame is also going to have the same sort of potential for hidden bullish evidence as we did outline between this low and, again, these circles not looking too good in this low right here potentially. Now, in order to confirm that hidden bullish evidence, thus confirming both 2-day and daily time frame, which, good confluence right there, likely leads towards, in this case, upside price action, would be any sort of a 2-day time frame closure above the last 2-day time frame wick high, which is 69,910. Now, Bitcoin's already traded above that on CME. Just need to see it close above it, which is not going to be tonight, but tomorrow night, just for reference right there. Anyways, moving on from there, I should also say, or should also point out that the daily stochastic odds is going to have a chance to cross the upside today. As of right now, the momentum pivot is 69,370. Bitcoin trading more than $300 above that pivot on CME right here. So, it's a long day left to go, obviously, but if Bitcoin were to close above that pivot, okay, you're going to start to see stochastic momentum turn up. You're going to start to see hidden bullish evidence on multiple timeframes, likely be confirmed. And at that point, kind of have to be looking, maybe not towards like a trending move towards the upside, but, just looking at this consolidation as a very healthy-ish, I don't like that word healthy, corrective. Healthy makes me feel bad. That's what I always hear on these fat TikToks. It's healthy is bad. It triggers me. It's triggering. I don't want to hear nothing about healthy over here. I want to hear about my big fat burgers. You're just okay. I won't repeat what else is saying in the background because it's very offensive. Jesus. Anyways, yes. So you see multiple things start to get confirmed, and realistically, that would really suggest that this consolidation is likely to lead towards continuation. In this case, what is continuation of the current trend? That would be to the fucking upside, obviously. Holy shit! How redacted are you? Can you not see it in front of your face? Just kidding. Having a little bit of fun, man. It's been a boring last week, basically. Anyways, moving on from there, I do want to go over kind of the other side as to why I do believe that, Bitcoin could very easily have another move back down around 66,000 bucks, or, maybe even just a wick below there. But as long as Bitcoin is on the daily below the median on the HPDR bands, it's hard to really make any sort of major assumption about this as of right now, because what we're seeing right now is HPDRV representing volatility at extreme lows. And when it's at extreme lows, I mean, you do kind of expect it to come back to that median. So that play has already been made. And with HPDRO basically at zero, signaling no positive momentum nor negative momentum weighted by volatility, it's a nothing. It's a nothing for me. It's a nothing for me, dog. But in this case, could very easily see something like this pop back up, put in that secondary low right there, and then have a quick move to the upside. Like I said, this is why I do think that just generally mid to low 60s, upper 50s is opportunity zone for Bitcoin for the long term, as I've been saying for quite some time now, with the halving coming up on 420, just 12 days away from right now. Anyways, moving on from there, I did want to go over a couple of statistical setups that we did call out earlier this month or late in March, and how they kind of play into this overall analysis. Now, they have not gone away, even though I haven't spoken about them for about a week now. Yeah, about a week. They have not gone away. So in this case, this is a daily setup just based off of the Krown VMP indicator getting towards extreme lows on volatility, plus a daily uptrend, plus a 3-day uptrend, and maybe a few other things as well. But ultimately, when those conditions are met, we have seen that these statistics over here have been relevant for these entries given, which does have just over a 51% strike rate, which you might be saying, Krown, but why the fuck are you showing me a coin flip, a penny flip, probability over here? Well, it's not about that. I mean, it is about that, but it's also about when it actually fires off that entry as to when that probability starts to become, I don't know, relevant. And then also you can have data, of course, on the average, the average trades over here, which I should probably remove my face for, and the time in those trades. So, in this case, the average winning trade taking about 22.5%. And also the average amount of time in these trades for the winning side was 14 days, which makes very little sense without the average amount of times in the losing trades, which was 5 days. So what can we kind of deduce from that? The longer that time goes on from 5 days, the more and more likely that this one is to be a winner, although it is starting to be an outlier on both sides here, to be fair. But this one, fired off quite some time ago now. Fired off on the 19th of March. So we are day number 20 away from that signal. You kind of have to be weighted towards an upside resolution on this one. Now, to be fair, at a 22% average, for the average wins returning 22%, that would put Bitcoin at about $76,000. Okay, interesting. But this setup has confluence with this setup. Another daily setup over here. This one being a lot more aggressive. This one's like a home run hitter is what it's looking for, with a very low strike rate. Just like, home run hitters usually have a high strikeout rate. Like they usually miss a lot. Although if you did a 33%, what is it called? Batting percentage. Oh my God. Have I lost like my baseball lingo? Holy shit. I've been fully Europored now. This is awful. Holy shit. What's going on over there? You'd be a fucking legend. But yeah, 33%. Again, same thing over here. This one fired off at 65,500. Technically speaking, there's a higher probability of this failing than working out. But just like when we dig into the data on the past setup, we can see that the average winning trade returns about 41%. There's some more information on that'll give in a second. The average losing trade loses an average of 9%, but the average amount of bars in the losing trades takes about 12, and the average amount of bars in the winning trades takes about 58. So we are well past 12 days now from this entry. We're nowhere near 58 to be fair, but this is 17 days. So the longer that this goes on, the more and more likely this is to be an upside winner yet again. Put back on my face over here. Hello, what's up? Anyways, my point is that, this now says that time favors the boo laws. If it does fail, you will see a move below, just below $60,000. So fair enough right there. But another point that I want to bring up on this one is that generally in upside markets, this one wins a lot more than it loses. And when it does lose, it's relatively small, as you see right here, and also right here, and also right here actually as well. And this was obviously a downside market, so that's where it is expected to lose. But what I did is that I went over the past 6 years now, 4 to 6 years. No, 6 years, yes. And found that the average winning trade was actually not 40-ish% for that time frame. It was being dragged up by the earlier years. In the more recent period, it's been closer to 30% actually. So if I were to make a more accurate assessment on this one, if this one does end up being a winner, then 30% to the upside would put Bitcoin where? $85,000. And if we're looking at the entry over here, which was on the 21st of March, what's 58 days out from then? That would put us into May, into like mid to late May. So more than a month from now, actually. So, is this happening this month? Probably not. Is it happening maybe next month? Perhaps yes, late next month. But, as we've gone over on other videos, we are in the second quarter of an election year, and the second quarter of an election year for Bitcoin has actually always been positive. There's only been 3 prior times, but the returns on that have actually been around, if memory serves me correctly, about 40%, 30 to 40%. So also good. April's just also been good for Bitcoin, typically speaking, in election years. It has always been positive. They've been relatively small gains. I will say like single digit, which for Bitcoin is pretty small. But, Bitcoin putting in basically a consolidation during the month of April, leading towards continuation in maybe May or June, seems more and more likely as time goes on here. Now, I will say one thing. May is traditionally one of the worst months actually for Bitcoin. But again, in election years, I've not done the analysis on that just yet. In fact, that's something that I'm looking to do probably later this month when May gets closer. But I'd be interested to see if that holds up during election years as well. But generally, May is actually a bad month for markets. As the old saying goes, sell in May and walk away. And it typically works. I mean, you walk away until September, October, and then magically the markets start rising yet again. So anyways, I think that's enough putting the puzzle piece together for today. Kind of just a follow-up of the general Fed of analysis that we've been having on this channel for quite some time now on the higher term time frame, especially with these last two setups over here, and then a few new things over here, which do kind of suggest that maybe there's more upside pressure in the short term than what I first considered. But fair enough. Like I said, Bitcoin can still very easily come down to like $66,000. Doesn't really fuck with any of these models. They start to get fucked up below about $60,000. So 66 is completely fine. I mean, that's 10% away, right? So ultimately, it's a bit of a waiting game right here. Probably going to be some more boring action, I would suspect, in April. That's probably the best analysis that I can really be having. So perhaps we should start looking at some other things as well on this channel just to keep things fresh and moving over here. Anyways, that's a good place for me to be leaving off. As always, I want to wish you the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully tomorrow.